Genji 2 is an action game which is based on Japanese history. Being based on history, the stages of the game will also be based on famous battles which actually took place in ancient Japan. So here's this giant enemy crab.
Listen, King Arthur did not choose to pull the sword out of the stone.
Is he dead?
Yes, he did.
It was destiny.
No, he tried to, and then the sword happened
Yeah,
to
Destiny's
come out.
name was fucking King Arthur.
No. It wasn't a choice. Merlin held a gun up to his head and said, listen here,
Pull, bitch.
you're going to pull out that sword and you're going to like it. This is kind of the same deal, except it has to do with more crabs.
Who's the Mordred then in this situation?
We'll figure that out eventually. That's the 20 episodes from now. Big plot twist.
Who's the Lancelot and who's the Mordred?
I'm the Lancelot because I'm all cool. I don't know if Lancelot was cool. I gotta catch up. I gotta catch up on my Arthurian legend. Wait, isn't he the one? Wasn't he the cause of everything going wrong?
Yeah, because he fucks Guinevere.
Yeah, that's me. That is me.
Because he couldn't keep it in his pants, Camelot explodes.
Oh no, poor Lancelot. Wait,
When he busted, so did Camelot.
damn. Oh well, it all worked out in the end.
Did it?
No, it fell. It didn't work out.
I'm pretty sure there was a promise for a very long time.
Well, I'm sure it worked out for someone in the end, right?
Probably. Yeah. What? It was the Saxons, right?
Yeah, they had a good time.
Despite whatever happened to Lancelot, he did nut in the end, so
Oh my god. Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Goal
Fuck.
accomplished. Yeah. You know, I just realized that would have been a great time for you to segue this soon.
No, that's the cold open. Let's go.
I mean, what do you mean, let's go?
Let's go. Welcome to episode 7 of Giant Enemy Crab Podcast.
Hey, at least you got the episode number correct.
I looked it up, motherfucker, to be sure.
Did you? Like just now, you just looked it up?
Listen. I didn't want to forget.
But yeah, episode 7. It's pretty exciting week. There's been a lot happening, like some pretty crazy stuff. We just finished watching EVO like an hour ago.
EVO's fun.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I missed like most of it, but Strider here has watched like all of it, and he's
I've
pretty
caught
hyped about
most
it.
of the Guilty Gear. That is what I was interested in. I caught most of it, and it's been a insane bracket. Absolutely insane.
Lots of big fights. Everything going the last round.
Gonna have to apologize for being sick if I sound funny. There's definitely that.
I'm sure you're fine. And then we got what else? Bethesda, their whole unionization thing that's going on right now.
Oh,
which
so
is,
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, dude, it's
They're
like
unionizing?
oh, it's not a small one either. This is like a full quote wall-to-wall unionization. So everything from like their artists, the programmers, some of the designers. Yeah, this is a huge one because I think they've like slowly been unionizing for a little bit now. I know, because I know they're quality assurance workers at ZeniMax who make Elder Scrolls Online. They unionize just like the ones that at Blizzard did. But now it's like almost the entire fucking company has decided to unionize. And Mike.
So I don't want to say like that doesn't necessarily insinuate that like Bethesda's as bad as Blizzard, right?
No.
Wanted better conditions.
I mean, you'd have to do some really bad stuff.
Well, yeah, you'd really have to fuck up to become like Blizzard has, but
yeah, because the whole quality, the whole quality assurance unionization isn't surprising. Because what happens a lot with quality assurance workers, is that they're hired on like promised contracts where you get a contract. Yeah, you get a contract to like go work with a game company for like 6 months to a year. And they like promise at the end that you'll get like a full-time position.
Wasn't that what Blizzard was doing to people?
Mm-hmm,
They like fly them out and then completely like just fuck them over.
Yeah, and like people would have to like move there. It's not like you could just do this remotely either. You had to like move to where their company is. So usually you're like traveling states and states just to make like very
wild,
small amounts of money. Like this is like just above minimum wage or sometimes just minimum wage at the state. And they do this and they find at the end of the contract like, oh, by the way, yeah, we don't really need you anymore.
You're not getting anything at all.
Yeah, and
have fun.
Yeah, it sucks because a lot of these bigger game studios are kind of banking on the fact that like you get to work at Blizzard, like the game company. Like, aren't you excited? Yeah,
all
it's
brand
terrible.
name recognition and
pretty much
the prestige
Although,
of working in a place like this.
I don't know if Blizzard's carries as much power anymore.
Yeah, I mean it still does.
I mean, yeah, sure. There's some that won't really. I guess like. Hopefully people, if they do decide to go with Blizzard, have more of like, a cautionary look on it.
Yeah, I mean, what they would do too, and kind of what they still do, is they have content creators make like videos about their games and the expansions that are coming out, and just like basically ask them to, but not offer to pay them anything to do it. And usually they will, and that's just because Blizzard is asking you to do this. You're like, holy shit, yeah, I probably should. I think that's becoming less of a thing. Just as content creators are getting more, like, I shouldn't say getting more, as this has been a thing already for years, but they have more influence now, just
more pull
across the platform. Yeah,
being an influencer.
Yeah, it's not you can't really take advantage of content creators that same way anymore, as they're more aware now of the kind of influence they have for these companies. But it is nice to see that these unions are being developed. I just am skeptical about how effective it's going to be, just because I didn't really hear much about the Blizzard one that happened, that things really got any better. That's not saying that things haven't.
Well, as far as we know,
yeah.
Bad shit still comes out about Blizzard, so who knows?
The Bethesda one is the first of Microsoft's, right? The first game studio under Microsoft banner. Like
technically not, but it's the first like full scale unionization. Because they own Activision Blizzard now.
Oh yeah.
So
well, I guess technically.
It's like
technically.
Yeah, sort of.
Speaking of like Microsoft, like I was reading that whole FTC thing. Going after them about the Game Pass
about
price hike,
product degradation, which
degradation, and like I think it was threatening a lawsuit, wasn't it?
I don't know if there was like a lawsuit threatened.
No. Or did that go to court? I don't
think there was.
No. So what it was, the FTC was trying to block the merger deal that Activision was doing with Microsoft, and eventually ended up going through.
Oh, right. But one of the conditions was they couldn't like raise the price.
Yeah. Because they were afraid of like that kind of monopoly law and just them controlling the market so much. And they said, no, we're not going to raise the price on anything. We won't do that. We'll make the games. Yeah. We'll make the games available to everyone at the same price. Nothing will change. Well, things are changing.
There was like a whole response letter from Microsoft too. They're like, I'm trying to remember I can't remember the exact phrasing, but they're like, it is misleading to say this. It's like, no, they're accusing you of pretty much what you're doing. You're degrading the service. Like,
because the big one is it's changing a lot more for console, right? Because console is getting a new subscription tier. The current subscription tier is doubling to get you the same benefits, and then there's a new standard price at $15 instead of $20. I believe, right? It will not include day one games and EA games.
Yes, that straight up right there. That is degrading the service. Like,
it's literally more. You pay more for less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the way they're countering it, though, is they're now adding multiplayer functionality, I think, to the entry level Game Pass. So they're arguing that it's not that they're increasing the price; they're restructuring the services given based on the pricing tiers.
What exactly, like multiplayer in what sense? Like,
I don't know, because I don't use it.
Because they already were multiplayer for the vast majority of these games.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's like, do you think that's like, to say like, I guess for, like Nintendo on Switch and PlayStation and all that, you need to have subscription service to even access multiplayer. I guess it's like that.
It could be
Tied in with Game Pass, but
because Game Pass is basically replacing Live, from what I understand, for consoles.
Okay.
Is they're like bundling that all together, where like the Xbox Game Pass is what's going to give you online capabilities, because I think they still have the like Xbox Live Gold to Game Pass rate, like deal ratio, where like if you buy a bunch of, like, people buying a bunch of gold, Xbox Live Gold, for cheap and then converting it for like a 3-to-1 ratio because it was still cheaper to Game Pass, up to a year of Game Pass.
I think that's what it is they're now offering like the multiplayer functionality. So if it required Xbox Live Gold, it's just in there now. Instead, you don't have to purchase it anymore. I think that's what they're doing. So that's like their defense, but I don't think...
I thought that's already how it worked.
Yeah, I don't think many games required Xbox Live Gold to be a thing, because they usually had either their own servers or they went through some other server service anyways.
Unless I'm mistaken, I thought that they had already done that, where like if you have console Game Pass like Ultimate, you have online. Like
that's what I'm saying. Is you don't need the Ultimate anymore. Like even their entry level service will offer multiplayer functionality.
But their Ultimate was still cheaper than what the new one is. So,
yeah, so
like it's still product integration. Like no pricing point.
There's no escaping it. Like
no, it's not a great defense at all. But that's what they're saying.
Yep.
That's how they're expanding the service and why it's fair to do. And no, not really. It's just them trying to jack the price up of games even more. But other than that, there's been some other stuff. Did you guys hear about the Warhammer Space Marine 2 leak that happened?
Yeah, because some hackers got a hold of it, right?
Yep.
Of like whatever, like a mostly finished version, right? I think is what it was.
Dude, remember when I found the article for that? It was like, get ready for when this comes, when Space Marine 2 comes out, because you're gonna get trounced because all these people playing it at a time.
Yeah, the devs are saying it's an old build, but I don't think it's an old build, because this is like not just fully playable. Like you can play it on their servers. Like there's online multiplayer on this build apparently, and people are already playing it. I haven't looked at any of the gameplay just because, well, I don't want spoilers for it, and also I think it's like it's really sad to be a developer and have like the thing you want to develop just be spoiled like that and just like,
leak.
Yeah, like that's terrible. It's not fun.
The whole like this is an old build thing also like makes me a little nervous because of the fact that they canceled their beta.
Yeah,
that they were supposed to have. Was it this month that the beta was supposed to happen, or was it next month?
I believe it was this month in June. Yeah, it was supposed to have been released.
You mean July?
Or sorry, yeah, July.
Yeah, so canceling that, not the greatest look. Does not instill confidence in me.
I get the feeling the build they got a hold of was what the beta was supposed to be, is what I'm thinking. Because from what I've heard is the entire game is playable. Like you can do the entire story in it, and just you can finish it.
There's just some like placeholder lines and stuff like that, right? Is what I was hearing.
Probably, yeah, and just some other like polish that's missing.
People were apparently complaining because I heard that people were apparently complaining that, wow, this game fucking sucks 4 hours in because like we just like all the voice acting goes away and there's just placeholder lines. People were apparently complaining about it. It's like you have a fucking unfinished build. Like, what do you want?
They want it done. That's what they want. But I haven't really heard that people are saying it's trash. So that's good. I'm still excited.
Well, want the game
the Warhammer special, like what you're hoping for, not garbage.
Yeah.
Are the two events correlated at all? Of them canceling the beta and the hackers getting a hold of it? Like, when did the hackers get a hold of it? Do you know?
I don't, because I don't know when they got a hold of it, because it was uploaded to a torrent site apparently last month, I think. So they could have had it for longer.
Yeah, that's sad. Even they may have been correlated on why they canceled.
That's why I'm remembering June. Is because they got a hold of it in June.
Okay.
Is the earliest that we know of. So yeah, I mean that's pretty fucking close to release. It comes out in September. But for one thing that I was looking at, this is kind of older news, but the Halo TV series, you guys see season 2?
I did not.
It was so bad. It got it canceled, didn't it?
Oh, did
Pretty
it?
much, yeah. Yeah.
It's not on Paramount Plus. I think it's the official thing is that it's canceled off Paramount Plus.
Yeah, they're trying to like find a new place for it, to somewhere else to host it. I think they're looking for, and I think now it's just straight up gone. Like they're just not going to do it anymore.
I don't know, man. Like the Halo show,
It's
They
weird.
They did not treat the source material with the respect. Like they did some questionable and interesting choices on how they wanted to design that.
Well, it's just strange to have like because the people that watch it, that know it from the video game, Master Chief does not act like how Master Chief should, which is really weird. But like it's okay because like you know if the director wants to take creative liberties with it, that's whatever. But then like the show itself just isn't that great. It's kind of just weird, and
it's like an identity crisis because it can't really figure out who it's trying to be for, from what I was watching. But
yeah, and then season 2 has more problems because there's a complete tonal shift where now they're trying to cater more to like what the game series was. It's more about like the fall of Reach and like all of that. So now all the people that stuck around for season 1, they watch season 2, and it's just a completely different vibe. Oh,
like it's its own, like a separate timeline, or are the seasons connected at all?
I believe they're connected, but I didn't even watch it because I couldn't stand the TV series like at all. I was getting mad at it. That's partly my fault. I'm so biased because I love Halo like so much. I've read the books. I have like the dictionary or encyclopedia. Oh, I must have read like 12.
There's a lot of Halo books, aren't there? Not as many as Warhammer, but
there's a lot of Warhammer books.
No, I was getting mad because they were getting stuff like wrong, like what the starships were powered by.
Fucking nerd rage. You were ready.
Yeah, my complaints are not valid at all because I am way too biased for it. But from the sounds of what everyone else thought about it, not great. So it's it getting canceled is kind of funny to me. But how was EVO?
EVO's been a hell of a time so far. But before we do that, I have a few small news things I want to go over that I also found.
Sure.
So did you guys heard back a while that Capcom announced the Resident Evil 7 mobile port, right?
Oh my god.
About the iOS.
I did not.
So they put it on the Apple iOS. You want to know how many copies they've sold?
Like 4.
Less than 2,000.
Oh no. That's especially bad for a mobile game.
Yep. Like there's no one like who wants very, very, very small market that you're targeting with a mobile game release of a survival horror console game.
Yeah.
Like that is 7 years old at this 7-something years old, I think, at this point.
It was already 7, right?
And you also need like the most like up-to-date iOS, like Android iPhone to just run it. What I understand.
Were they charging money for it too?
Yes, it's
shit.
It was like $20, I think. I'm not certain on the price.
When I read that it was a mobile port, I was like, that game I feel like wouldn't run well on mobile.
I saw someone talking about it earlier. It's like, oh well, I got a few minutes on my break here. Time to pull out my phone and play some Resident Evil 7. Like,
yeah, that's
like
that's a weird decision.
I would not play something like a main title like that was like originally developed for like a full like pad and on an iPhone on a like touchscreen control scheme.
Something way stronger.
That does not feel like it'd be great. I also don't know how the performance would be.
Me either, just because phones now, like there are gaming phones you can buy that actually run pretty well. So I could see like if you had one of those, like if that's just something you do, I could see people buying it. But again, that's such like a niche like market out of literally anything else you could do. Like of all the mobile games that are out there that make a ton of money, none of them are like that.
Yep.
It's not even close. So I don't.
Top 100 grossing like mobile games, like none of them are premium titles, are they? They're like all
No.
free titles with microtransactions.
Yeah, I've seen some games coming out that are like $40 price tags, like buy it, and it's supposed to be like just like an RPG or something similar. But I've never actually wanted to play it. I just like, oh, that's weird. It just seems really out of place for it to be on mobile. Like it seems I think we're too conditioned for mobile games to be like this free to play or 99-cent game, and then there's microtransactions in it. Like that is such the norm now that asking $40 or something or $20 even for a mobile game seems kind of ridiculous.
Like the fucking mobile market's so dependent on like getting some like people's feet in the door
Yeah.
with like a free price.
Yeah, that's
But
really
to sell
weird.
less than 2,000, even with something like the brand recognition of Resident Evil 7, like it is two very different markets, like console and PC versus a mobile market.
How brand recognition, like how much would brand recognition help with something like that? Because I feel like anyone that actually knows about the series would already be playing it on something else. Like they would say, there's no way I'm going to play this on mobile. Like, why would I do that?
Because the other thing is, like, if I saw Resident Evil 7, I'm like, without hearing about this, like seeing it pop up on the App Store or something, I'm gonna be like, this is like some fake scam app re-upload. Like that would be my first thought. Like, you know, those fake apps that get uploaded of with like screenshots of console games. Like I saw a few of them for Anthem, for example, when that was big. But like, that's my first thought. It's like, this is not what I'm expecting on a mobile game. Also, like, what? You start this up, 10 minutes later, your phone explodes because it's fucking working too hard?
Dude, my phone struggles with the RuneScape mobile game, the old school RuneScape. I can't even handle that. I've tried to play it on there.
My phone can't even handle the fan fiction app. Like, that stuff sometimes just locks up my phone. I have to set it down and come back in 3 minutes because it is just completely locked up.
Yeah, I need a new phone. I needed one of those gaming ones. Have you guys seen those? They're so fancy.
Gaming phones?
Yeah.
I have not seen one of those.
Yeah, some of them are pretty cool, but like they're so expensive that I would rather just upgrade my computer.
I was gonna say, like, how like price wise, what are we looking at in the realm of gaming?
$800 to get
that,
like a pretty good one.
I'll buy a computer part.
What is the price of the average phone nowadays? I don't know. I've been rocking this phone for years.
I know. I rarely buy.
It can be
phones.
pretty expensive.
Like, is that high?
The one I currently have, I had a 2-year contract to pay that off. It's mine now. I own it, but I think it was like, at the time, it was like, yeah, it was a very like high end one, and now, in the 2 years, there's new generations, and it's like, well, cool. Like,
it really depends on what you're getting, because like if you buy like some kind of iPhone, it's gonna be expensive as hell, just because Apple always jacks up the price of all their shit. And if you're trying to buy the very newest phones, they're just gonna be like really expensive. But if you just get something like a couple of years old, usually it's not that bad. Like you could get signed for probably like $300, like a pretty decent smartphone. But beyond that, how was EVO? Did you have anything else, or were we ready to talk about EVO? Because I'm kind of excited.
One more small thing that I saw. Did you see that? I don't know what the lawsuit is, but there's a lawsuit against Steam.
Is there?
Yeah,
another one?
I don't know what it is, but the interesting thing is that it revealed how many people work for Valve.
I saw this.
It's like, I don't remember the exact number, because it's like anywhere from 250 to 350. I don't remember exactly how many. But the interesting thing that I saw was that Steam itself is run and maintained by less than 80 people.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
It's really low. I think it's actually even lower than that.
Yeah.
I think the lawsuit was governing that because Steam has such a huge influence on the gaming market, because they're the biggest online store for video games in the world.
And it's not close.
Far none.
Well, also
not
one of the
even
best
close.
ones. That's why.
Yeah. But they're arguing that because their staff is so low, like they have such a small staff in comparison to these other game companies, and most of their staff isn't even dedicated to the store itself, but rather for like all of their other projects that they do, that they're basically like a monopoly that is like being way too harsh on the gaming market, and that they need to be taken down, which is just complete bullshit.
Like,
in my opinion,
they're not like price fixing or being like aggressive to like corner the market. It's just everyone around them keeps shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah,
because like they just have the best storefront with like there's so many built-in features that just Steam like the ability to remote play, for example. It's just like all it takes for someone to do to add remote play to the game is basically just check allow remote play, and boom,
it's
you
not
have
even
it.
not even just that. Like just on the developer side, how easy Steam makes it and how cheap they make it to actually publish games worldwide compared to some of the other stores is kind of insane. And people will look at like the cut that Steam gives and say, oh, like they take like, was it like a 25% cut, 20% cut? I think it
it's
is
30%.
30% cut. Yeah. I think it's that. And then they look at Epic's game store that does like 15, like half of that. And they're like, what the hell, Steam? But then when you actually look at some of the details, the reason why their cut is higher is because they handle all of the transaction expenses and a bunch of the other like minute stuff that enable them to easily like distribute your game across the world that Epic does not do. Like if you try to get that cut from Epic Store, you have to handle those purchases yourself, or you can have Epic handle it for you. And then that cut goes up to 40%, which is higher than Steam's.
Yep. Because like the other thing is like stuff like if a refund goes through on Steam, doesn't Steam just eat the cost?
I don't think so.
There's something interesting with how they handle refunds.
Yeah, that I can't tell you for sure.
I'm not 100% certain, but I think that's what it is. It's like that Steam will handle like a refund like that, except if like you get to the special cases where they like start offering special refunds for games outside their standard 2 hours and 2 weeks requirement.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where they will they will eat the cost for refunds that fall out of their own like refund like criteria. That way they're not breaking their deal with developers, but they still want to provide customers with refunds. I think that's what they do. But I believe if it's a refund and it falls within that like criteria of less than 2 hours of gameplay and also less than 2 weeks from purchase date, it comes out of the developer's pocket. Because I know that this is a huge issue for some developers that make like 1 hour gameplay games. They sell them for like $5 or some stuff. People will just play them, then return them once they're done. And yeah, and it's kind of a problem. But yeah, this was I think they had this issue with in the UK. They were sued for something very similar. But I guess this whole employee thing just gives them more ammunition to try and take Steam down. But I don't even know what they could do. Like, I think any argument you make that when you look like deeper into like the details of it, it's more the Steam just offers such a good deal for everyone that you can't really like compete with them. It's very difficult.
Yeah,
like they're just providing a good service, but for both developer and consumer.
Yeah,
it's just the best choice.
There's
just so much support for both.
And even like for other stores too, because you do have the ability to sell as a developer to sell Steam keys on other stores, as long as you're not selling them for cheaper than what you're selling it on Steam for. That's perfectly valid. And that way you can still let the customers enjoy their games on the Steam platform, but buy them from a different store that they might prefer. Which is, yeah, like what? Where's the argument? Like, shit, what do I do? Sounds pretty fair to me.
It just, I don't know, it's such a weird thing, man.
Yeah, it's just one of those lawsuits that are made just to cause a ruckus. But I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It never does. They always get sued all the time for this stuff.
And they always walk.
Fab has a very good legal team at this point.
Yeah, it's probably half their employees.
All the shots they're taking at, though.
They've just got the lawsuit debt list, but they just start handling their new lawsuits as they come in that someone's bringing against them.
Damn it, there's another one.
Oh man.
It will be a dark day when Valve becomes the villain. Like
I don't think it's gonna happen. Like the biggest one was the fact that you can't give your Steam library away if you die. Was one of them like in a will? Yeah. They said you legally cannot do it.
That is.
I'm assuming it's like a massive licensing thing with like how it's like they don't want to deal with have figuring this shit out.
But
just the idea of that anyway is so strange.
But also, I'm sure it's because whenever you buy a game, you have to sign the terms and conditions that say that you own the game. Here's your rights and all this other stuff, and that license becomes yours. And I don't think it's transferable. So yeah, I think it is a legal thing from the viewpoint of the games you're buying, not so much from Steam. And Steam just doesn't want to handle that kind of legal thing, more for your sake than for theirs.
Just like, I'm just like sitting here thinking, man, on my passing, I bequeath in his will, he left you his Steam library.
Like, could you imagine, me leaving someone my Steam library? In that case, would be a fucking troll, because you imagine you get the account, you boot it up, and you just get 1,000+ terms and condition pop-ups that you now have to sign.
Dude, I was thinking, what about those ones where it's like you inherit it, and it's like boom, all hentai games. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh my god,
not again.
All right, anything else?
Nope.
All right. Evo.
That covers my big ones.
How was it?
Main thing I watched was the Strive tournament. I did see some other things from the top 6 when things went to the main stage, but this Guilty Gear Strive bracket was absolutely insane.
It's pretty fun to watch.
How much of it did you guys manage to catch? Because it's what I was watching for the majority of the weekend.
So we watched the final losers bracket and then the grand finals. So we watched the 2, technically 3 matches. Because
I was able to catch everything from top 96, but partway through is when I joined, and I've seen pretty much everything since then. And it was nail biter after nail biter. By top 48 had a bunch of absolutely crazy, down to the wire. It is the house is treating it like it's fucking grand finals, and it's just 2-2 fucking final round, 10% health, and it is just crazy performances. Everyone is executing at an absurd degree. Fucking there's character spreads all over the place. We had a wide spread of characters too.
Yeah,
which is good.
I think there was I've heard that apparently there was a Zato and Slayer fight that was crazy earlier in the day that I missed. But by the time we got to top 24, I believe all previous EVO champions were knocked down to losers. By the time top 24 rolled around.
Crazy, man.
That's actually fantastic. That's pretty good.
And there's names like this, Tempest and New York City, NYC. It was previous EVO winner. They're knocked out in losers round 1 of top 24. Hotashi,
we watched that one, didn't we?
Hotashi loses in losers round 2 against Zando, who was one of the people who ended up making it to top 6.
Hotashi that early?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
damn.
he got sent to losers in pools. Like Tempest got knocked down to previous Evo champion got knocked down to losers in pools. I think Leffen, another like top player, like contender for winning it all, got knocked down to losers by that.
That was against Tatuma, right?
I think
wasn't
Tatuma.
that match?
Yeah, Tatuma was the one who knocked him down, and then Leffen got all the way up to losers round 4 and lost to Zando right before, which allowed Zando to get into the top 6. But like these people were crazy. Like we had a Johnny that got pretty far. We ended up having an Anji make it to the top 6, and a Jacko. Like the spread was insane. Like
that's always really good to see, because I remember one of the Evos we watched was literally like all Leo White Fangs, and
yeah,
I think it was mostly him. Like he was everywhere. Like everyone was playing Leo.
Like if I got the brackets pulled up here. Like if I remember correctly, we had multiple Happy Chaoses, of course, but only one made it to top 6. We had a great chip player, Marvello. We had Daro Ino, who played Ino and was fucking killing it in his matches. We had Nitro on the Jacko, which was an insane, because Jacko's not a very like stable tournament character, but he played his mind out. We had a few Ram players like Red Ditto, who ended up going. I believe, Red Ditto made it to top 6. We had a Johnny. Johnny's a fun character to see in motion. We had the Anji Ooey Gooey Chewy Snicker. Fantastic.
That was the Anji.
Yeah, fantastic name. He ended up coming in the top 6 on winner side. No one expected the Anji. We had Bridget with Adachi playing Bridget. We had the Asuka from Zondo. Like we had a few Ram players, of course. Tempest with the only Leo White Fang, I think, in top 24, at least for what I saw, because we didn't get to see all of losers, but he ended up getting knocked out in losers round 1. Like the character spread was very healthy. Like there was no overly dominant. Not only that, there was no Gold Lewis, which was one of the top.
Which is a bummer.
Top, like you saw Gold Lewis a lot in pools.
He was Gold Lewis, man.
Yeah, no, he was one of the like strong tournament characters, like thought to be able to like good chance of winning it all.
I also watching Evo definitely makes me want to like return and try and get better with Gold Lewis, of course, because that was my main.
I like Guilty Gear. It's fun because it's like it's one of those fighting games that's very easy to sort of like start and get into, and then the mechanics are just in depth enough where there's really like a good path of actually like getting better mechanically, and like when you finally do that combo that you've been practicing forever and it just happens. It's the greatest feeling, I swear.
Also, the fucking like how like the pace of matches is insanely quick, which makes it great to watch, but they're also explosive. Because like things can change on a dime and like swing by far. Like also like the combos the characters pull off, like we had some really saucy players. Fucking Tatuma's Soul.
I was gonna say, like watching him in the grand final, I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Just oop, I got a hit. There goes 80% of your life as I take you corner to corner through the air with multiple clean hits.
Yeah, even just like the story for how it finally ended with Nitro getting knocked to losers queue right at the end, and then beating
climbing his way back up.
Yeah, who did he beat? Was it Reddit? I forget how to pronounce his name.
Because Nitro got knocked for it was Red Ditto.
Ditto, that's what it is.
And they got the run back in grand finals. And he 3-0'd first round of grand final, or first set of grand finals, and then won in a fucking nail biter of a 3-2 for grand final reset.
Oh yeah, and you could see that at the end, like the both of them were just kind of mashed. Like he dropped, like I think 3 combos like in a row.
Oh yeah, no, they,
Like,
they were going for it. They were fuck this.
they were losing it. Oh my gosh, I was like having a heart attack just watching.
That's basically what all of the like any match that went to to like to the 5th match, like it was 2-2 of like even back in pools. Like top 48 pools was insane. It was so nuts. Like
See,
I think
every single. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think every single match I watched went to like 2-2 with the final decider. Like,
yep, 3rd round, fucking.
Yeah, I didn't see many that were like, oh, this was like a shutout. No, it was like down to like the final point every time.
Yeah, I really like these fighting games that are like these 1v1 competitive ones, like Street Fighter as well. There's something about them that, like, even if you don't know anything about the game, you can just kind of watch and still understand what's going on and like still kind of get excited by what's happening. And you can even figure out the mechanics too, just watching as well for the most part.
Like whether you're floor 1 or like Red Aura and Celestial, like these matches are hype just to see. Like it doesn't matter if you're played the game for 2 days or 2.5 years. They're still fucking such a joy to watch.
The main thing that it comes down to though is it's like all right, cool. I'll see 2 players fighting and it's like, oh, I like this character, and but I don't know anything about the player, and it's like, oh, that player's a total asshole. It's like, fuck.
Oh god. There was definitely one person that chat was preying on their downfall for
really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Leffen.
Yep. Okay. Since we brought him up, once Leffen fought in losers round 1, or like the chat for the rest of the night was preying on that people knock him out, and he was the final match of the second day, final match to determine who gets in the top 6, and it was such a close fight. It's probably my favorite set of the entire tournament was Zondo versus Leffen in losers round 4.
Why does everyone hate Leffen?
He's very he had a history of very unsportsmanlike behavior.
He has been banned from events multiple times.
Yeah.
To put it at baseline, like there is a documentary on YouTube about the people that were quote unquote victims of it. I haven't seen it, but it's like an hour and a half long. But he has done a lot of nasty things, and it's
wild too, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's on his redemption arc," and it's like I don't know enough about the guy to really say if he is or not. Like I just know that he had the history of not being the greatest, like the nicest person.
But like it would be like 45 minutes since Leffen had fought on screen or something. Like an hour later, and people are still saying like Leffen deserves to lose, knock him out. Like it was like people, the chat hated him.
Okay. Huh. Well, honestly, I'm not that surprised because it feels like fighting game communities always have like that as a problem, which doesn't.
Well, it's like it kind of like follows into the whole thing of like like the sportsmanship thing, man. Like everyone, if you're not gonna be like you're gonna be unsportsman, it's gonna spread throughout the community. People are gonna know. Like,
yeah, because I think Tatuma was the one who sent him to losers. And,
he was, it was Tatuma.
Yeah, and when they finished their set, Leffen didn't shake his hand or anything. He just walked off stage.
Oh, yeah. And people were like, check his Twitter.
Like literally about it was like he tweet because he always tweets like right after his matches, so people were expecting him to have an interesting moment on Twitter. Because if you check his Twitter, the pinned tweet that he has is like, I'm one of the greatest players in the fighting game community, and don't you fucking forget it. Like to give you the level of ego this guy has.
A part of me wonders if like that is just on purpose, just to, drive viewership, or if it's like he actually thinks that.
It's hard to tell, man. Like it's hard to tell.
Yeah, some people.
It's definitely not 100% an act from what I've seen.
Oh gosh.
But, like the guy is skilled. Because I think I was looking at something earlier. Few interesting things is that Sonic Fox won Mortal Kombat 1 today during this weekend, which now makes him the he now holds the record of holding the second most amount of wins at an EVO.
That's nuts.
At 7. because he was tied with Daigo at 6 before he won Mortal Kombat 1.
I think most people like recognize that name too. I know a lot of people recognize Daigo, but I think at this point a lot of people recognize Sonic Fox as well.
Because the only person that's ahead of him at 9 wins is Justin Wong.
Oh,
Justin Wong, and the crazy thing about Justin Wong is that of his 9 EVO titles, 8 of them were from Marvel vs. Capcom games. Like he just dominated that market during his time.
That's wild.
That's one of those fighting games I can't get into. Marvel
dude, that game is insane.
There's like so much happening all the time that I just can't. I can't even deal with it.
Well, you're gonna get a taste of what it's like with Guilty Gear's new 3v3 mode that they've shown off, which looks actually just like the worst thing ever, and I'm ready for it. It does not look like it's gonna be balanced at all.
It looks like janky fun.
Yeah.
Also,
it looks interesting.
A lot more stuff on screen.
Yeah, the beta for it is happening in a few days, actually, on the 25th.
I'm definitely hyped to try that out because I remember watching all those videos of Lythero and DBZ, his DBZ shenanigans and fighters.
Yep.
And I never got into fighters. I tried and I just did not like it.
I enjoyed fighters. I got like that was even more so than I would say Strive. Like that was where I actually like learned like combo Strive. Like the team I had, I actually could pull stuff off with.
Yeah, and I've always like watched their videos and they always look like they have a really fun time. So I'm excited to try that, but in Strive and see how it goes.
Yeah, because the interesting thing about Strive that's nice is that the 3v3 mode it's three different players per team. Each person is controlling one character.
Yeah, just like fighters.
But the party mode for fighters.
Yeah,
there was a 3 because standard fighters was you control all 3 people on your team.
Yeah, no, I know, I know what you mean, but like we're talking like in the room, like it's same kind of thing with fighters, where when you did do the 3v3, it was each individual player playing each individual character.
Because we just got news on it, like I think like an hour ago, and apparently, like some of the I don't know if you guys got to read it yet. Did you guys read anything on the 3v3 mode coming up?
No.
I have not. No.
So, like, because there's going to be... So, you're going to have a set of... Of your team, you have your main player and your assist players. Everyone shares the same health bar on your team. So, what the assist players can do is, while the main player is fighting, is that they can use their skills, which is... There's going to be 8 of them in the open beta coming up, but it sounds like there's going to be more because there's a skill customize option that they showed that's been grayed out on the upcoming open beta. But there's stuff like heal the person that's playing right now, throw it one of Faust's afros out, push the opponent back, create a bubble that triggers a counter hit. But like, there's a lot of stuff that you can do that. But there's also a tag system because. So either the assist person can do it or the main person can do it. But when it's accepted, they will swap with the whoever agreed to it. So like main with assist 1. So assist 1 will be playing and then main will become the new assist. But there's a small...
they have to agree.
Yep, both players have to agree. But either player can initiate it and the other one can accept. But when you tag...
like fighters are getting forced.
There is a time frame where both characters are active fighting your opponent. And the other thing is that you can only be a main character, or you're the main player once per round. So you're only allowed to tag out twice. For that your third player will be locked in for the rest of the round. You have but when you tag out, it sounds when you tag out, you are literally 2v1 dogpiling the opponent for a short time. Which I am very, very interested and scared of to see what degenerate setups you're going to be able to do.
Jump them, get them.
Yeah, because Guilty Gear Strive is a very heavy damage game. Like, you can take a lot of damage from a single combo if it's done, like, efficiently. Like there are lots of combos, but some do a lot more than others. Just it's just a matter of like if you're able to actually structure and if it's on a counter hit or not. So yeah, the fact that you can have like 2 people wail on someone, I'm wondering how much that's gonna hurt.
And I wonder if there's just straight up unblockable setups. Like someone hits high, someone hits low on the same frame. Like,
Oh
what
yeah,
do you do?
you'd have to try to fuzzy jump it or something. Like, well,
Like
even
that-
then, like you're
like,
screwed
fuzzy-
eventually.
Like a fuzzy jump wouldn't even work. Like, I also wonder what happens like if you get hit from both sides. Which way do you block? I'm assuming they'll have
Oh, yeah, because I guess you'd have to keep track of who's like the main player now.
that
I don't
might be
know.
that might be it's gonna be very, very interesting. This game I don't know how quote unquote competitive this game mode is gonna be, but it's gonna be degenerate as hell.
I feel like it won't exactly be competitive, but
But like, imagine a team of Nago, Potemkin, and Gold Lewis. Like, there's no screen space left when they're fucking coming in through. Because not only are there the 8 skills you have, like it was like there's not too much gameplay yet, but you can see people like jumping in, and there's like there's like a section where all 6 players are on screen doing something.
just
Either the
imagine you're
assists
trying to
or
block.
skills.
You're trying to block, and then you're getting hit by a Gold Lewis caught like with Beam Typhoon that breaks your guard, and then you get Potemkin grabbed.
I also imagine
Like, this sucks.
like fucking like Nago Super, for example, or something like that, where he catches him and brings him up, like just juggling all 3 of the opponents or something at the same time. Because here's the other thing: since you share a health bar and you're 2v1ing, like what happens if you eat a raw super, like both of you?
Hmm.
Like, oh my god, is there gonna be damage?
It's
Sure.
gonna be fun. I'm excited to play it.
But I wanted to double back to the Evo, like when we're talking about the Evo champion. That like apparently the list of people who have like claimed an Evo title like championship in more than one series is like there's only like 8 or 9 people in the world who've done it.
It's
How many
crazy.
Evos have there been now?
Quite a few, I think, at this point.
Like it started in '96, I think.
Oh damn!
Yeah, so we've
Yeah.
had quite a few.
Yeah, almost 30 years.
If almost 30 years is free. Because it's only like 9 or 10 people. It's kind of crazy.
Man, I gotta say, the fighting game community is like, it's fascinating to me. Like, and I'm trying to think how to explain. It's like the fact that like something like Evo's gone for that long is really fucking cool. Like,
Yeah, the because I think how third party is Evo Tournament, because they handle like most of the other fighting games, right? Because there's Guilty Gear, there's Tekken, Street
well, they had like
Fighter.
7 different Evo channels, like 7 different venues, basically.
Yeah, they're
to
pretty
show all
huge.
this.
Because I know Evo was it's like one of the big things is the Evo always has to get its sponsors, and like this year the big like partnership was Chipotle,
Yeah, I
Which-
saw that
which
when
led
they were
to some
doing the,
very interesting commercials. I don't know if you saw it.
I
One of
did.
my
we
favorite
cut it out
is
before, but
there's a Tekken commercial where it's definitely Seijim reading the description, like he's reading the entire ad, right? But it sounds like they just like kidnapped the man and threw him in a phone booth to record it.
But dude, I just remember like after Nitro 1 and it cut to the the host, the announcers, and like the banners go and scrolling and it just switches to Chipotle. And it's like,
The fucking Chipotle t-shirt and Tekken.
I was like, I think I know who's sponsoring big time here.
Like there's a Tekken event coming up where you can go fight Chipotle King to fucking get a
yeah.
t-shirt in game on the 23rd or later.
Chipotle King.
Also, I think a bunch of the Evo games right now are on sale on Steam.
Yeah,
Like-
they are. They're having like a fighting game sale on Steam right
Because
now.
there's the
that's
fighting
cool.
game. There's the fighting game sale that unfortunately is going to end the 22nd. But after that, there's also like Grand Blue, which was the 4th biggest game in Evo, and Guilty Gear are both on sale right now. I don't know if Tekken's going to be Tekken's on sale because of the fighting game one. I think it's a Czech Street Fighter before this. But like a bunch of the big games at Evo seem like they're on sale right now.
Oh, you just make me think. Speaking of games that like getting on sale, we gotta dabble in Soul Calibur at some point.
We actually played a little bit of it.
Ah,
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing in that game. We were fighting a friend of ours who actually plays Soul Calibur, and I was literally just pressing every button on my controller at the same time.
I wasn't there for that, so I didn't get a
I
chance
ended up perfecting him, and it was pretty amazing.
I've gotten to play a few hours of Soul Calibur so far with some people in a different Discord also picked it up during sale, and I was invited to play. And the game is interesting. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but holy shit, the fucking way too many moves in that game.
Yeah, I definitely like strive better than Soul Calibur, like right off the bat.
I placed them in two completely different kind of like baskets.
They are
though.
different.
They
feel like
they're
different
both fighting games, but they're both so different types of fighting.
I don't know yet. Like I'm really, from what I've played of Soul Calibur, it seems like a lot of fun. Like once I started to get a little more of a hang of it, where I wasn't just mashing my face against its controls, trying to fight.
I remember playing Soul Calibur, like the older ones, and I was.
But there's a lot more like conditional moves in Soul Calibur. I've noticed. Like was one of the big things. Like there's moves that you execute from going from a crouch to a stand. Like while you're doing that, there's specific moves in your list that you can only pull out there.
Yeah, that for me, there's too many there's too many moves and everything that you can do that I don't feel like bothering to learn any of them. It's like I can already tell this is a lot, and I would rather just play Guilty Gear.
Because I think it's the same thing of like Tekken, where like you have an expansive move list, you just don't use most of it. Or like you use like you keep things for very specific situations.
Yeah, very niche situations.
Because like if you like check the move list on Soul Calibur, like there is a specific section that details all the main moves.
I was trying to look at like a Soul Calibur kind of combo guide. It looked very different.
I don't know how big Soul Calibur combos are.
There's a either.
I remember I wasn't really a big fan of the 3D movement either. I could see why you'd have it because it's interesting. I just didn't like it because I remember I played as that one guy who like will walk at you backwards and his entire moveset changes, and I was like, "That's pretty cool."
Yeah,
but it's definitely not something that I wanted to learn more of.
That was more as a character specific thing with him.
Yeah,
but
like I said, I can see why, but I just wasn't interested in it.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a big fan of 3D movement until I started getting a hold of it. Because also, like, how you actually move in 3D movement was, like, because I was trying to double tap, like, movement, right? That's not how you actually, like, shift around. You just lightly press it up or down to shift.
Yeah. I think I did pretty well with my press all buttons at the same time.
I mean, you got it perfect. You literally can't do better.
It was working for me.
But also the fucking cursed ass custom characters in that game.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have seen some fun ones over time.
Definitely very interesting.
I think one of my favorites was a streamer and he made Skeletor with a giant pizza on his back, and just fighting people randomly online, he actually encountered He-Man.
Oh,
and they were
that's Vinny, right? That was Vinny.
No, it was Joel. It was Skeletor.
It was Joel.
Yeah, it was Joel.
The fucking take the pizza, man, and he fucking throws it, but it ends up behind him, and he just like what? Fucking love that clip.
Get the pizza, He-Man.
It's like, what's that? Soul Calibur? Was that one of the Tekkens?
No, that was Soul Calibur. I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was.
Oh.
I'm not 100% certain just because I remember the slowdown. I might be thinking of a different clip. Because I don't think Soul Calibur doesn't have the slowdown right before it kill, but I think that was Tekken 7.
No, it was Soul Calibur.
Was it? I might just be misremembering.
Yeah, he's got it. I just looked it up. Yeah, Soul Calibur.
But so for EVO 2024, congrats to Nitro, right?
Yeah.
Yep, Nitro.
It was Nitro.
For Strive?
For Strive, for the 2024 Strive EVO champion. The first time he's gotten it. It's pretty hype. It was really great watching him and seeing him win all those matches consecutively. Like, that was pretty crazy.
I unfortunately only managed to tune in for the grand final, but
it was a fantastic thing to watch.
The grand final was hype as fuck. So.
Yeah, no, the like all of the matches are I've like super hype. Like everything felt like a grand finals match with how the players were treating it. But like all of the top 6 players, like they like this was like a bunch of, there was more than one person, I think it was their first offline major tournament. Like this is the first time they've competed in a tournament setting like this.
It's pretty cool though.
Before this, like everyone in the top 6, like their best placement was like 13th before this. So like none of them had made it to top 8, top 6, like single digit placements.
They came ready.
It was like it was a massive upset through the tournament as like fan favorites were knocked out like and like got 24th or 17th. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, because I remember in previous ones too, like it was always like a winning bet for Hotashi to be like at least top 3 or something. Like you would have seen him a lot.
Yeah, he was always up there.
And it's so crazy that he said he was playing Bridget.
Yeah, he doesn't play Nago anymore, from what I understand. He had swapped to Bridget.
That's surprising. Wasn't he? Because he always swarm by Nago, didn't he?
He was definitely one of the best Nagos in a tournament setting. Overall, probably one of the best.
I wonder what prompted the switch to Bridget.
I know. Especially considering that Nago's like in a really good spot. Also, there was like no Nagos in top 24. There was only one of them. From what I saw. Could be
something, maybe at like the very highest level, he's a bit weaker, which sometimes happens.
I think even like top end, he's considered really strong. Like he's considered, it's just, we had just such a wide spread of characters. Like I think the most duplicates was Happy Chaos at 3.
I feel like that's a really good sign for a fighting game too. If you're like big tournaments, there's like a big spread of your characters, not just the same.
Well, the updates that they
sign.
Do, yeah, the updates that they do to the game, like they have a few times now changed some very essential mechanics or just added new things entirely.
Which
like even just new moves for some of the characters,
which is pretty cool. I will say.
Oh yeah.
I know. Fliz might not agree with a certain Potemkin move. At times, I should say. At times, he said he likes the move, but
it's very
sometimes
volatile.
Sometimes it works against him.
And his opinion about it is very volatile because he'll call it the worst and best move in Potemkin's moveset in the same match.
That's why I said depending on the situation.
Yeah, the updates I think that they do to the game really help make it so that one character doesn't dominate like that happened for Happy Chaos for the longest time.
Oh my god.
Oh god, that was so terrible. But I really need to learn the new mechanics because when I came back, there's a couple new things for Kai, I think, that I haven't even like tried to learn yet.
Dude, I don't even know if Gold Lewis has anything new. Like
Gold Lewis is very, very strong because the new system changes. Because White Wild Assault like fixed his biggest problem, which is getting in. It allows him to just bulldoze his way in, and once he starts getting going, like there's one moment where someone was forced to block against the Gold Lewis, didn't get hit after about 8-9 seconds, if even that, and then they got away from him, but they still lost 30% of their health to Chip.
Yeah,
like the man just deletes your health bar even if you block.
So you're just like Gold Lewis, like you want to block, I'm still gonna hit you with this comp.
Oh, yeah.
I do love that the Gold Lewis Discord actually has a special role that you can earn by hitting all 8 Behemoth Typhoons in the same combo online. Like in an actual match. Yep, they have a special role for it in their Discord, which I think is great.
That is pretty good. Well, getting away from the fighting games for a second, did you guys see the trailer for the new Soul Frame game that came out?
I don't actually think
that was
Soul Frame?
Because that's from the guys who left Warframe's dev team, right?
I believe so. I don't know if they left or if it's another game that they're making.
I believe it's that they
devs.
left. I believe it's that they left because I think that the guys who are also working on Warframe, like still working on Warframe, like still on that team, they're doing the 1999 one, right?
Yeah,
Warframe 1999.
yep. Which they just dropped their teaser for that too. But yeah, Soulframe's trailer
interesting.
It does.
It looks rough from what I
yeah.
like. Every time I've seen that game, it's looked rough.
Aesthetically, though.
Well,
Very
the thing about
aesthetic.
it is the trailer they dropped is a gameplay trailer, and from the name of it makes you think it's a Souls-like game, which it is not supposed to be. And Warframe has some pretty good like combat, even though it's like really twitchy and difficult to follow. This looks like it's trying to do the very similar type of combat, but a little bit slower paced, and it ends up looking like not very good.
Visually, I like the aesthetic a lot. Like,
yeah, the aesthetic is still the same as what Warframe kind of was already and is already doing. And that's another kind of issue because I love Warframe, but I think its story is like so difficult to follow. It is so
I still don't really know
vague
what's happening in it.
Dude, it is so difficult to understand what is happening or what's going on. And I know like there's videos you can watch that explain everything and what's happening, but still like there's only so much you can kind of learn just watching the cutscenes, and you're just kind of like, I don't know who these people are. I don't know really why I'm fighting it. I don't know who I am. Now there's two of me.
Is that the moon?
Yeah, it's very rough. And it feels like it has the same vibe in Soulframe too. And I don't know how that's going to go down because I really hope it's not a very, very vague, hard to understand thing, because the combat already, from what I can see, isn't really doing it for me. So if the story isn't that good either, it's like, oh, that's rough. That is rough. I don't know if I'm going to give it a try. I think I'm going to wait and see what people are saying about it before I give it a whirl. But I'm happy it's coming out, though. You know, it gives them something new to work on, because I do like and have a lot of hours in Warframe. So I hope I enjoy this too.
I'm definitely interested in giving it a try. Just looking at it, it looks pretty neat.
Yeah, and have you tried the Swarm mode in League of Legends soon? Because I know you haven't touched the League in a long time.
I had it installed, man.
Yeah, you don't even have installed it anymore?
I haven't. No, I installed it like we most of us did at the time because of the whole Vanguard debacle.
Yeah, I've played it, and it's actually a lot of fun.
I'm more surprised that like more people haven't tried to make like multiplayer survivors, like style gameplay.
Yeah, and so it works
what
really
style
well.
Is it?
It's like Vampire Survivors, like that type of game.
Okay,
like a little smaller, like bit-sized missions from what I was watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very much like a mini game, but there's a lot of characters you can play. There's a lot of items that you can use too. The kind of rounds are only like max, like 20-ish minutes around there, depending on how long it takes you. But it's a lot of fun, surprisingly. They even, I didn't know this was possible in League, but they gave it WASD movement as well, which like freaks me out playing League with WASD. But what's really cool is all the characters are the characters in League, but they're like, what they do is pretty much the exact same thing, just kind of tweaked a little bit to make it fit in the genre, and it works like super well.
Another one.
It's a lot of fun.
It looked interesting. One of the big things that I noticed watching you play, like, because I haven't actually played it myself, is one of the standout things was it definitely looked like it has some of the best boss fights in the genre from what I've seen.
It seems to take inspiration from like FF14 bosses, like what they do with a lot of the mechanics being like shapes on the ground as how they start. And then like you can react to it at first, but eventually you need to like know what's about to happen. You're not going to be able to just react and say, oh, I got to get out of this. You need to move knowing what's about to go on, which is pretty good. It's a lot of fun.
There's definitely some interesting mechanics, which I was not expecting out of that.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like was the enemies like spawn off of the walls, but you yourself do not like invalidate the spawns. So if you're standing next to the walls, they will just spawn on top of you and damage you, which is not great. That's pretty oof.
There's definitely a reason why most Survivors games have like infinite like playable area basically that just loops after a while.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, other than that, I was actually pretty impressed by it because their last few minigames have been pretty good. Arena has been pretty good. They had their Soul Fighter thing was also really good. And now this one too. And I'm kind of wondering when or if they're making these just to experiment with a new game. Because we already know their fighting game's coming out. Oh God, what's it called again?
2XKO.
2XKO. Yeah.
God, what a terrible name.
It's not great.
This actually kind of ties in really well. If I am not mistaken, the two of the major people working like on 2XKO are actually the founders of EVO.
Are they?
Oh, wow.
If I am not mistaken. I believe that they are. I'm not 100% certain on this. I forgot to actually like double check this, but I saw that someone was saying this, which is very interesting because that definitely like there's a lot of like fighting game like experts that are working on this game or with this game. Like it is definitely seems like a fighting game made by fighting game fans for fighting game fans. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good.
It's definitely shaping up to be pretty well. Because they said that they're moving into their next phase. But they're trying to start getting it out to the players. Like with beta tests and alpha tests.
Yeah, some beta releases. That'd be pretty cool. Because I am very interested in it. Because there's that. They're coming out, well, not they're coming out, but they've been developing their MMO behind the scenes as well, which they've like completely redone. So God knows when that's coming out. It's kind of strange because they've been releasing all these weird like mini games on League. But then they fired like a bunch of studios that were making some of their other third-party games, like the Bengal City Timo game that was on Steam, which apparently was also pretty good. It was a lot harder than people thought. It's like a puzzle game that's actually kind of difficult. But like all of them that have come out have been really well received. Even the Mage Seekers game too.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. It's weird that they shut down those studios, man. The other one that was good was I don't know if you mentioned it, Rune King.
Yep, Rune King. That was another.
That one I played. That one is pretty cool.
That was another good one. They need to come out with some more of these story ones. There was the new game as well. Like all of them are all like actually pretty good.
There's the rhythm one, which is the Ziggs one.
I never played that. I don't think I even looked at that because rhythm games.
It's not terrible.
No,
it's not terrible. It was kind of jank, but it wasn't. Wouldn't say it was awful.
I'm waiting for League of Legends 2 to come out. Do you think it'll ever happen?
League of Legends 2.
Don't
fight IRL.
Don't tempt them.
Hey, I thought Smite 2 would never be a thing, but that's going to be a thing.
Come on,
soon.
man, that's high res. You should have known.
It's probably going to be programmed even shittier.
Yeah, well, it's made in Unreal Engine. Most of the work's done.
The only thing I know about Smite 2 is I went into practice.
Shout out to fucking Smite blowing up Flizz's computer more than once and his stream.
Dude, I went to the practice tool in Smite 2, and the only thing I noticed that was different, besides some visuals being sharper, they changed one of Zeus's abilities.
Did they?
Yeah, he's got like a AoE get away from me kind of thing now.
As if he needed more. That character.
But it replaces one of his abilities. I think it replaces his shield he throws out.
Oh, okay, because that thing was a problem. Oh my god. The amount of times I've died to that character and have no idea where he even is. Oh, he's crazy.
It's like I think it's the get away me thing. It's just like it just slows. It doesn't knock you back or